And we're live. Hi everyone, this is amateurgamer, and I'll be returning to Beyond All Reason Cast. And now I'll be presenting a 2v2 Great Divide version 1 matchup. This is the first time I've seen this map, and first time I've done a 2v2. I think 3v3 was like the fewest number of players I've casted. Wow, this map feels tiny. So we have the initial starts. We have a couple of metal extraction sites. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 extra ones. And then we have kind of a choke point in the middle that will essentially be that's interesting. That is very interesting. So there will be a lot of engagement unless you start using air units, and 2v2 means that you're gonna have some very interesting strategy regarding. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to introduce our two teams. So on the top, red, we have Pej Pej. I hope that's not some foreign slang for something I shouldn't be saying. And then yellow is Mystical Hunter. And then for the bottom, we have Grey Gore as green and Steel Hoof as blue. So regarding large, like 4v4, 3v3. Okay, 3v3 might be quite similar. I feel like anything like 4v4 or less, the approach is very similar, right? Everybody has to chip in. Unless you have really good scouting and you know you could get away with it, you're probably just gonna fight each other with lower tier units. And then starting like 5v5 and upwards, you start to get into situations where you might have the back line that techs up and the front line trying to hold the enemy back. Currently, we're already seeing 2 vehicle plants. Green is going very heavily on energy. See a bot lab. See a tick. A vehicle plant. This is kind of late. And at the same time, the map doesn't feel very big. It feels tiny. We do see a guard. And I feel like if this tick is able to do some damage, actually it might not have a chance. Especially not if it engages these rovers. They have any defenses? No. Blue does have a sentry. Honestly, this early on, a sentry might suffice. But with all of those rovers, that's the thing. Like, commanders are very slow. If that tick circled around, but I mean, it's easier when you see the whole map. Did they take out? Okay, they are pushing in. We do have some pawns along here. Is blue paying attention? Oh yeah, that was bad. And it's made worse because there are only 2 players. And those units you are not getting back as easily. Oh, are you gonna get in range? Yes. And currently, these rascals are, I mean, going after the construction. Wow, that pounder basically. I was like, oh, is the commander going to? Nope, nope. The pounder is gonna do it just fine. Are they just out of range? Wait, I'm so confused. Oh wait, no, sorry. These are on the same team. I was like, that is way too close to. That is way too close to not be engaged in battle. Right now, it seems like the two sides are content on kind of holding the middle, securing all of the resources. Do you have some going for medium assault tanks this early on? Feels like quite an investment. I don't know if they want to push into this. Just say. In terms of firepower, I would definitely give it to the south at the moment. I guess you do have these rocket launchers, so if the southern players are not paying attention, they are going to feel it. But yeah, these rockets like hurt. Honestly, dealing with rockets is a little tricky just due to the fact that they hurt a lot. And I guess you need like proper maneuvering. We have some dragon teeth. We have some Lazaruses. So are all the metal extraction sites secured? I don't know what they're actually called. I actually don't remember from the tutorials. That's what I'm going to call them, so. And we have all of these pawns. I'm surprised they're not going. I mean, if the enemy is gonna go for static defenses or some level of that, going for your own rocket units isn't a bad idea. Oh, can they see this? Has either side? Oh, I was like, has either side built a radar? I don't see one for south. Hmm. But both sides are content with building up their forces. What are they focusing on? Missile tanks and artillery. Get a construction turret to speed it up. They're going for medium assault tanks. I feel like some of them are going for really expensive units. And do they actually have no radar? I'm actually a little confused. I feel like I might be missing something. Because right now, North. Actually, I need to see the range. Yeah, the North know exactly how the enemy are kind of deployed. They have some ideas. And without radars, they can't strike back. And currently it feels like yellow and red have a better comp. They have one player that's focusing on the front line and one side that's focusing on... And then there's one side that's focusing on artillery. And ultimately, that's how you're gonna push it, right? One pushing at the front, and one hold the front, and the other just deal damage in the meantime. Who's gonna win this? I don't know. Really? I mean, I would definitely not put... I would definitely not put a radar that far forward. Do they have a radar? Maybe I'm in blind. Maybe they do have something. If they do, I don't see it. Yeah, currently these units are just kind of sitting ducks at the moment. Is either side going for air? Really? They're going for energy converters? Oh, those are... Those are pretty expensive, actually. I think the North is slowly getting emboldened because they're actually pushing forward. Slowly, mind you. But of course... oh, there is a radar. Okay. So we're probably gonna see like artillery concentrating blows from time to time. I guess inching closer is not a bad idea. Because as you inch closer, it means that your opponent's metal extractors are more exposed. And yours are safer because they have to push further. Is this South just outnumbering the opponent in terms of artillery? Because if that's how they're gonna engage, yeah, the South has a bigger advantage there. I think they have more range. 710 versus, yeah, 380. I don't know, sending all of these... Oh, they have some maces. Yeah, you don't want to stand around. Either charge in and be more decisive, or like hold them in the back more. We're seeing some stouts. Another construction turret. It's getting more energy. Actually, metal might be the bigger limiting factor. So, remember how I said earlier, like, I guess that is an option. Especially when energy is something you could get a lot of. And this size of the map really limits how much metal you can gain. And I do feel like green could push a bit slightly more forward. And it was probably just be fine. Just slowly push them back, right? You don't want to embolden your opponents. Oh yeah. And you do have to be careful. If the enemy charges, like that's the thing. If you have fast units, oh, okay. So we finally have engagement. I was gonna say, if your opponent have a lot of fast units and charge towards your friendlies, you're gonna do a lot more friendly damage. But I think North just had a stronger force. But it's a little hard to tell. These rocket launchers are doing their job. And the North are pushing through. There is a vehicle plant further to the front. Did they lose all of their units? Like, I felt like once they broke through, like, the main problem is they haven't taken out the enemy artillery. I mean, they're still pushing. They're trying to take advantage of this opening, but if they are sending their units... If they're sending their units one by one, it's not gonna work out very well. Wait, are they disintegrating the enemy? Damn. Wait, did green lose their artillery? No, green just doesn't have anything to hold off against the artillery. And right now, red smell blood. Yeah, these artillery are taking quite a beating. Ooh, this single brute could do a ton of damage if you're not careful. And this pawn from earlier, you don't want to ignore that pawn. Oh yeah, that's... I was like, don't underestimate how much damage a pawn does. It seems to be tickling your units to death, but man, that tickle is can be lethal. But right now it does feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's a reset. It's just there are less units in the south. I can't really say that At the moment, either side really won decisively. Ooh, that was... Oh, that would be expensive, replacing all of those Lazaruses. Are they just attacking ground? Because I don't think I see any enemy units. Yes. Seems like they're just attacking ground. But personally I do think rocket units are just easier to handle. I mean, it kind of depends. Though I don't think any major... Okay, losing that metal extractor probably does hurt. And this. And that. Okay, so in terms of economy, North does have advantage because they haven't lost any of those. And that's the thing, like, when do you go for tier 2, right? You like, the moment you step off the pedal, you're going to be in a situation where your opponents will be able to crush you because it just takes too long to get the economy to the point where you can support tier 2 units. And right now, Blue is working on bringing back a lot of these units. So if your opponent is idle, yeah, artillery is the way to go. If you're more aggressive, missile tanks are better. And sending these units grouped up is definitely... these Janus would love it. They will absolutely love it. Yeah, you don't want to group all of these units up. I think that might be the biggest mistake. They should at least have a few separate control groups. Are they actually targeting? I mean, they're really bad at hitting moving targets, so there's that. Janus debris. How do you even see that? I guess you have to select an area. And at the moment, they are bringing back a bunch of these units. I mean, we can see their strategy. Green has went for very heavy static defenses, but keeping their commander kind of trapped is not a good idea. Oh, this is really bad for Green. Green kind of trapped their own commander. Oh, is Blue making a push? So this time, do they have anything to fall back to? They have an agitator. See, that's a problem. If your push fails and your opponent gets emboldened, they're gonna keep going. And you might not be able to recover from that. So it looks like, yeah, this is the smarter... are they focusing on the enemy commanders? They might. Oh, this is really bad for... I don't think they were ready. And that's the thing. If they could get in and take out some of these metal extractors, it's gonna be... Yeah, they're going tier 2. That's their mistake. I was wondering how come their pressure lessened. Oh, this is really bad for them. At this point, I wouldn't... I mean, destroying that would help, but honestly, going for the economy hurts a lot more. And yeah, this is... This just shows how much a single mistake could end it. And honestly, Blue probably made... Out of all the cats I've done so far, Blue has made the best use of Lazaruses so far. Resurrecting units and just using them against... Like, I think these artillery and stuff, they have really helped. And at this point, I don't think they could recover. Their economy is in shambles. Oh, they smell blood. They're like, we want the commander. They're still trying, but at this point, I don't think they could replenish their units. Are they going for tier 2 or are they going, yeah. Going for tier 1 is definitely the better idea. Are they tier 2? I wouldn't go for tier 2, not with this economy. Like, they're missing so many metal extractors that, yeah, at this point. And also, I noticed the South may want avoided a mistake that North was making. If you notice earlier, North, what happened is after their push, they sent in one unit one at a time towards Blue, and that actually gave them a lot of units to resurrect, so it actually didn't pay off. So right now, these engagements, Red will find that they have to engage very smart because they can't replenish their troops as easily. Yeah, earlier I was like, oh, is Green's commander going to, like, these dragon's teeth kind of trapped it. Yeah, at this point I think they need to push. They can't allow the enemy to come back. But at the same time they also need to, oh yeah, being able to resurrect these. See, this is what Blue is doing right. Resurrecting enemy units and even defensive structures, that's gonna help them a lot. And yeah, Red is not gonna be able to hold up both of the opponents. I mean, what is Yellow going to do, right? Yellow's economy is hurting and going for rocket vehicles. Okay, so I want to pause before we proceed forward to towards the end, but as we can see, it's a very swingy. And the question is, I mean, ultimately, I think Yellow going for tier 2 was the biggest mistake. It used up a lot of the resources they needed to get units back in. And at the same time, I mean, unfortunately, metal extractor not established there. Okay, Green is on top of it. Yeah, Blue missed this one, but I do feel like this, ultimately, the southern side just did a better job with resource management. And I did read earlier, Blue was like tier 2, but yeah, you don't want tier 2. It's just, given such a small map, given the resources you have, you can't afford a tier 2 very well unless you have a situation where you have so much defenses in the center that you can't push through. At that point, tier 2 may actually make sense. Because you're gonna have a stalemate, might as well go for better tier units to break through that stalemate. And yeah, really, the North had advantage. They pushed in, they got crushed, and then after that, they had no answer, and that basically gave the South their chance to, that basically gave South a chance to come back. So that was pretty good. Let's see. Green, destroy enemy resource production. Resource? Really? Green did everything? I felt like Blue did pretty well, but maybe Green carried a lot harder. But Green, I felt like, did have a better use of resources because Green built all the artillery, which helped harass the enemy. And yeah, ultimately I think the decisive battle was here, where the enemy came into here. They didn't even destroy all of these towers, and I think that allowed Blue to kind of like pincer and crush whatever was here. And ultimately the rocket vehicles were just isolated and easily picked off. But yeah, it just shows Sometimes all it takes is one single mistake and you're not going to recover from that, and that's what happened to the North. They made a push, a very bad push, and then they never recovered from it. But anyways, that was an interesting game. I'm going to end it here. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you have a good one.